Last night, the Coopers flew over the cuckoo's nest. We're breaking down Faster Pussycat Kill Kill with a very special guest from Riverdale. I'm Sasha Pearl-Raver, and this is Screen Junkies News. You guys, he's alive!
Yay!
It's Jason Blossom, aka Trevor Steins, and we are so thrilled that you are here.
Thank you. I'm so
And we're
thrilled
doing
to be
Archie
here.
Afterlife today. This is an actual zombie we have with us.
You know that is one of the theories floating around, is that you guys are heading toward like an iZombie Riverdale crossover.
I saw a BuzzFeed article on that the other day, actually. Yeah.
I do not approve. And
there's
I don't want you guys to be zombies.
There's some people that somehow think that Jason is alive. I don't know how that.
I think that's a possibility. I realized that last night.
Yeah, I hear it at least 3 times a day. Either are you still alive or Jason is still alive. I believe it and I refuse to give up hope.
We should probably officially introduce you.
This is Trevor Steins, who plays Jason Blossom on the show Riverdale, as if you didn't know.
Which you did.
I mean, this is so beyond thrilling because we have a million questions and we are going to get to all of them. But first, let's break down last night's episode, which was a doozer.
We're going to talk about last night's episode and ask a question at the same time, I think.
Great.
Because A, theory that Polly was pregnant, confirmed. Theory that they were twins, denied. However, condoms, Jason.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Dude. Use
Listen,
a condom.
We were in love, you guys.
Right? If you really love them, bag it up.
Wrap it before you tap it.
That's right. You heard it here,
Nothing
kids.
says love
Listen,
like
I never
running.
said Jason was a role model. I never said you should follow in his footsteps in any way. He was caught up in the throes of passion.
Do you think that they were really in love? Because I'm starting to have my doubts that Polly is maybe, but then the car made me think that they were, but then I thought for a minute maybe she was delusional. What is your take?
Yeah, I think it's really interesting the way our writers have kind of set up the mystery of what really happened between Jason and Polly. I think they definitely had a very intense relationship. I think that was something that was established really early on, and they do kind of make you question her, like Polly's sanity, Polly's story.
All the Cooper sanity.
All of the Cooper
entire time.
Yeah. But because they find her in this asylum, and she is somewhat manic, and she's like, "No, we had this plan, and we were going to run away." And you're just kind of like, is that true? Or are you just kind of...
But then they find the car. There's so many things happen. And I love, you guys kind of have a Romeo and Juliet story. And then Jughead and Betty have a full Romeo and Juliet and crossover with Dawson's Creek reference in the show.
Yeah,
where he climbs up the ladder.
And is like, hey, Juliet.
Yeah.
Do you ship Jughead and Betty
so
or Archie and Val more?
More? I'm sorry you said ew, because I'm a huge Val Archie guy.
I just don't feel like they have the chemistry. I feel like all the chemistry is between Veronica and Archie and me and Archie through my television screen because I'm a creep.
True.
Again, 16.
Yeah, I mean...
19 in real life!
16 on the show.
This is the kind of show that loves playing with, the relationships and what fans want. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm a huge fan of Haley, who plays Val. I love them together. And when I was reading those scripts, I was like, oh, it's so cute. It's so cute.
They're in love.
It's funny, though. I went on Twitter because I was getting, yesterday we were doing the live tweeting for the episode. And I went on Twitter and I was getting so many tweets be like, Bughead is what they call Betty and
I like
and
Jetty.
Jughead.
I like Jetty better.
I hear Bughead so much. They're like, do you ship Bughead? How do you feel? And I just tweeted out, I was like, yes, guys, okay, fine. I ship Bughead. Bughead is endgame. But then the response from that, like so many people were like, how dare you? I'm unfollowing. I hate you now. Like, I can't do this. I mean, I think it was mostly said in jest, but like I got a lot of heat for saying that. So I was
love
just
it.
like,
I'm so happy, but
never mind.
Let's ship some other things.
Okay.
Because I feel like Jason and Miss Grundy hitting it.
They definitely did. They
She tapped
definitely
that
did.
ass. And then she made sure you wrapped it before you tapped it. Because that is Miss Grundy and Archie, who looks a lot like you.
Jason. And then also the Blossom family weirdly was getting a little touchy, handsy-feely.
Also,
Blossom mom.
Cheryl and Jason tapped it, shipped that, hit it and quit it. I truly believe.
In all seriousness, I do think, because Jason had a disturbing childhood. Clearly, the parents are totally screwed up, right?
It's full flowers in the attic.
Full flowers in the attic, possibly Mrs. Grundy action, yes.
Older lady.
Well, I think it is said in one of the episodes that Miss Grundy did tutor me.
Oh.
And we know how that goes.
That's all I can say about that.
Tutor. That is okay. Okay. Well, speaking of moms, this show, when we start the show, we get to see sort of what's going on with Jughead, Betty, and Alice Cooper. There is sort of a Get Out reference. You will know it when you see it if you have seen the movie. I will not spoil it for anyone.
I haven't seen it.
But Alice Cooper still uses a checkbook? Who uses a checkbook? And Betty and Jughead are able to take a photo of it so that they know that there is a place called, Children of the Broken Mercy, who are throw your child in the asylum. How sad is that place? And that is where Betty's sister is being held, Polly.
Yeah, poor Polly.
That is not a place loving parents send their children.
Agreed. I have to agree with you. It's the Cooper family is definitely kind of twisted. I think especially for Alice, she's just she's a mama bear in a way, but she's very controlling. I think. Yeah. She just needs to have her fingers in all the pies and keep her daughters under her thumb, and then. I think it was when she realized she couldn't do that with Polly. It's kind of what Polly says in the episode, that she got sent there when her mom realized she couldn't control her. And plus the Coopers, obviously, like you said, we had kind of a star-crossed relationship, Jason and Polly. And, they hated the idea of Jason and Polly being together. And when they found out that she was pregnant, spoilers, with Jason's baby, they were like, no. They were ashamed. They wanted to send her away.
Yeah, they wanted to hide that. But I mean, I think the big question for us, too, is who is worse, the Blossoms or the Coopers?
I literally ask myself that week to week.
Right, because they're both horrible.
Well, when Alice Cooper starts laughing at her husband at the idea that he would have the sack to kill Jason Blossom.
Which only makes me think that she did it more.
Well, and then she says, I wish he could have done it. I wish I had done it.
Yeah, that's what you say when you're trying to cover up the fact that you did do it.
That's fair.
What'd she say?
Exactly.
Exactly.
She totally did it.
Well, but I don't know. There are, at
so
this
many
point,
suspects.
There are so many suspects. We are sort of getting led down the path that maybe Jughead did it in next week's episode. That was sort of what's
that I don't
sort
believe.
Of alluded to. I don't believe that either.
I don't believe
Although then I was thinking, what if this voiceover is Jughead talking from prison because he's writing a tell-all memoir?
No, absolutely not. None of the
And he's an unreliable narrator.
He is, but that's an awesome story twist. But we have to, as Archie, did you read Archie's?
I didn't really. I'm a huge comic book fan. Anybody who knows me.
I mean, look at his shirt, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Look at that Spider-Man situation going on right there.
I have grown up loving comics, and so I was always aware of Archie, and I was always around it, but I never read any of the old digests or anything like that. But once the show got kicked off, I started reading Mark Waid's new run on the mainline comic and Afterlife, which was written by. Our lead writer, Roberto.
Do you think that we could be, there's a possibility that we could have a zombie?
Are we heading that way?
Canon.
He read Afterlife. He's referring to Afterlife. He's smiling as we talk about Afterlife.
I feel like this is a teaser.
Trevor, okay, I don't know that you're dead.
I don't know that you're not a zombie.
I don't know that you're...
I love our writers' ability, because we have genius writers on this show, and I love how well they nuance the mystery. of it all. And that's what I'm going to say.
Well, we had another mystery.
Yeah.
It's something that was brought up a number of times. So Archie is going through a trunk looking for his guitar strap, and he comes across this wolf mask. And then when he's choking at his variety show auditions, then when he is going up to perform, he sees the football team in those same wolf masks. You were the captain of the football team. We see your jacket. Was this something that, like, that was one of those moments where I'm like, did they used to, like, go out and do bad stuff wearing these masks? What's up with the crazy, creepy wolf masks?
You know, I think it's more of a childhood fear of Archie's that he kind of connects with his fear. Like, you know, because singing in front of people makes him feel really vulnerable. And I think it kind of connected to that childhood fear of the werewolf mask. I don't know if there's anything more like sinister behind it, but you might just have to wait and see.
We have so many sinister threads already.
So many sinister threads.
Let's talk about the drugs for a moment, if we can.
Yeah,
Because
car in the woods, you guys. There's a car in the woods, and
which seems at first, right, like it's confirming Polly's story, but to me, this is not the look of a romantic getaway, right? This is the look of a man on the run with a pile of drugs, and maybe that's to start the new family or something.
I was going to say, he's got to provide for his baby and his baby mama.
Or maybe he's not running away, but running from something else.
And
like
Polly
the
was the cover story.
And Polly was the cover story because he's kind of a snake himself. What do you think? What do you say?
I think you guys are really good at asking me questions that I have to dance around very quickly.
How we do.
I love it, rocking it out.
But yeah, like it is really interesting because you know, you go through the episode wondering if Polly is, you know, sane, if what she's saying is true, because her parents deny everything, and but then at the end of the episode, they find the car, the supposed getaway car that they were going to meet up at and run away together. But they open the trunk and they find all this contraband, and I think it really is it really builds again more of that mystery underneath what the real story was, you know, because like Polly, I don't think at that point was aware of everything that was going on. You know, she has, I think, an idea of this life that they were going to build together, and Jason obviously needed to get out of town for something. You know, he tried to fake his death.
Or faked it.
And now, because here's the thing, because Polly would be such a great cover story, especially if that got cray.
Okay, or he was then kidnapped by somebody.
But, well, here's the thing.
Killed.
So the car was obviously stashed. There was a reason for the car.
Yeah.
Polly would have been a great getaway. We see drugs. We see his jacket. We know that for sure it's his. But then we also see somebody lingering in the woods. There's a POV that is obviously somebody watching. And then when they go back, the car is on fire. And by the way, I had 3 moments of audible OMG last night, and the car was one of those, ooh, girl!
But you know, that had to be Skeet. That had to be the serpent setting that car on fire.
I don't know that it did have to be Skeet, although I do love when we bring up Skeet. But here's the thing. If it was his car, why wouldn't he have driven it away unless it broke down? But still...
Because he got kidnapped. Because he was held. Remember that his wrists were worn down as if he was being held against his will.
Right.
He was kidnapped. Obviously, people were trying to maybe get information out of him. And then they straight up executed
kind of like how we are. Except
and
I don't know if they
held,
executed him.
You know, they said that he was held for like, what, 2 weeks?
A week. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh, 2
weeks. A week.
That was 1 week.
I think it was week.
Fact check us.
Fact check us. 1 week. I think it was 1 week.
1 week.
I need Merle and the Dan Cam.
Yeah.
Fact check us.
Yeah. And on the Dan Cam.
And on the Dan Cam.
Or just hit us in our mentions.
Can we quickly say, though, in the Coopers' defense, not that they're not horrible, crazy parents who probably drove Betty at least a little bit crazy.
They're insane.
But would you really want your daughter getting pregnant by a guy who's got a ton of drugs in his trunk and had her in a burn book and then is clearly with all these other women, including Mrs. Grundy, yes?
And your sister and maybe your mom.
What do you say?
You know, that's fair. As a parent, if I were a parent, I don't know if that would be a relationship I would approve of. But in Jason's defense, you know, I think what I really love about Jason's character is that your idea of who he is changes with every episode, you know, because he is a character of, he's a very enigmatic character surrounded with a lot of mystery. And I mean, the kind of the main through line of the show
You're the reason for the season is what I said before we started. Like, you're the reason all of this is happening. It's your fault.
It is.
But we're so happy it's your fault because we love it.
Well, thank you. But because, you know, he's surrounded by all this mystery. Again, I love the way our writers just kind of teach you more and more about what really happened, who he really was, with each new reveal. And, you know, so one week, you know, the pilot opens and you hear people saying all this terrible stuff about him, like, oh, I hope Jason Blossom burns in hell, like he's dead, oh, I hate him, gosh. And then, you know, and then you hear about this burn book and you're like, wow, he really was just a terrible person to do that to Polly. But then you hear from Polly and Cheryl, and they defend him to the, you know, to the moon and back.
Because you gaslighted them.
Maybe.
Or you're a good brother, like a loving, that's a terrible family. Siblings with rough parents, I think do bond in a deeper way.
That's something that Madeleine, who plays Cheryl, and I have talked about a little bit, is that the reason, because, you know, we hear all the time about our special relationship, and people are always wondering about that. And we both kind of concluded that we think that it's growing up in a household with parents like the Blossoms, especially being twins. We already have a close bond, and then just growing up in that harsh environment really forced us to stick up for one another and grow really close. And for Cheryl, like, Jason was the one person who loved her, like, unconditionally and through everything, and was always there for her. And then, you know, when he dies, she loses that. You know, she loses the one thing in her life that really was solid and was like a foundation to her. And so I think that's why she takes it so hard.
As a sibling, with a close relationship with your sister,
that's not a Lannister.
Do you think that when Betty hugged Polly in the institution, she passed her something? Is that something you would have done with Cheryl?
That is definitely something I would have probably done with Cheryl. But I can't say as to whether or not she did or did not. Because Polly did say that she wanted to give Jason a message right before she found out that he had died. So I think kind of the way the story is structured, I would say that maybe not in that moment when they hugged, because they were just seeing each other for the first time. But
I'm saying when they were like torn apart by the.
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant.
Was there a? One of those.
One of those things.
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no clue.
Also, we got the great line, "You're a ginger Judas" from Veronica to Archie.
Yeah.
There are so many creepy gingers running around.
Yeah, a lot of misbehaving redheads in town.
But they're related.
But that's the thing. But
don't you think?
That's what we're thinking. So Molly Ringwald, who has not yet shown up, but who we know plays Archie's mom,
is a Blossom.
And I think she's a Blossom.
Yes.
And that Archie is somehow tied in.
And is related to the Blossom.
Because why are there so many redheads?
Nuts.
They're a dying breed.
They're all congregating in one town.
Yeah.
And it's Riverdale.
It's such a genetic anomaly.
Yeah. I mean, that would be...
they have to be related.
They have to be.
That would be crazy.
At
I mean,
least back in the day.
that would be kind of interesting seeing how, like, Penelope Blossom reacts to Archie. Because there are a lot of parallels drawn between Archie and Jason, you know? Like with Cheryl, like she sees him running down, she sees Jason running down the football field, and, you know, Penelope's like, oh, you look just like him.
Yeah, it was really creepy.
And yes, exactly like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, he takes his spot on the team and he wears his jersey. They do draw a lot of parallels between the two characters. And so I think that's kind of just an interesting character point for some of especially the Blossom family, like how they react to Jason's death, and then suddenly Archie, who reminds them all so much of him, is thrown in the middle of it all, you know?
Are we going to see more in flashbacks coming up? Can you tease any of that?
I'll be around, I'm sure.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's all your fault.
As a zombie, we go into Afterlife.
That would be nuts. It's funny because I love iZombie. You mentioned that iZombie crossover. I'd be like, hey, I'd do that if they wanted to. I'd be a zombie.
You'd ship that.
Yeah.
We had a
Live in
lot
Jason.
of like tongue hockey going on yesterday. There was Hermione and Fred macking down, and Veronica was pissed, which was awesome. That was so great. And then she was a super brat about it and was like, I'm not signing this thing that would actually keep you in a job, Mom.
She wasn't totally being a brat. I think she was, I think she was understandably upset.
And she had leverage.
Yeah.
You know, her mom wanted her to sign this thing. She didn't approve of her relationship with Fred. And so she was like, well, I'll give you what you want when you give me what I want.
She's like, let Fred give me what he wants.
She learned how to negotiate like a lodge.
Ooh.
And then you got
true.
Archie and Val making kissing faces.
Yes.
Which I wasn't as excited about, honestly. And then the other audible moment where Betty and Jughead totally kissed, and I started drawing hearts on my paper.
Yes.
I was like, oh my God, they're so in love, and I love
It's
it
official.
They are
so
great.
much.
I love that relationship, and I grew up as a huge Archie reader. I had
really?
a trunk full of Archie comics. So to me, it was always Betty and Veronica and Archie. And I told Sasha this. My best friend and I would go into a Forbidden Planet in New York to get our comics every week, and they called us Betty and Veronica. And I always thought Betty was getting the short shrift, and I like the fact that she has her own life.
Right?
In this.
Yeah.
And I know we all want like that love triangle to happen eventually, but I love Jughead and Betty.
I love it so much. I'm so happy to see them together. And also, she invited him over for breakfast, so we know he got to eat a meal. Because I'm very concerned.
I'm very concerned. Where is he living?
Where is he living? Trevor,
Where is he?
He doesn't have a home.
He does not seem safe to us.
He was staying at the drive-in before,
Right, but now he's like, now he doesn't have anything. We don't know. We don't know if he's eating. We don't know if he's living.
He doesn't
We're
have
very
food.
concerned.
He's only at Pops every
It's
3
all your
days.
fault.
What's going on?
He got one meal, and it was Alice Cooper being a creep.
Yeah, it was horrible. He still ate it because he was so hungry.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. So the big question
Yes.
for me for the
He's
episode
so overwhelmed by us.
is
I'm trying to answer like 4 different questions at once.
I know
but
there's
it's
a
fine.
lot. If we get very
It's
excited
fine.
about Riverdale.
Me too.
So the big thing, obviously, was who's waiting in the woods, who was watching in the woods. But the bigger question is who's lying? Hal and Alice, Polly, Betty, who within the Coopers, or everyone? Like, who is actually, are people lying to themselves? Are people lying to each other? Where is the lie coming from? And is it really because they're trying to protect their daughter from you and your unsheathed wang?
Yes.
Or
my.
use condoms, children.
Running around
Use
willy-nilly,
condoms.
getting
This
girls
whole thing
pregnant.
might not have happened if they had just used a condom.
You
Or
know,
is that
that's
not
actually
Jason's
fair.
baby? Other twist. Is that not Jason's baby?
I literally can't even right now. I cannot even for a second. Oh my God. If that is not Jason's baby, whose baby is it?
Yeah, who do you guys, if it wasn't Jason's baby, who do you
I think
it
you
would
got
be?
Miss Grundy pregnant. I think you were just running out,
Running around.
exterminating
Just-
everyone.
Just inseminating every
just
fertile female I
spreading
could
the
find.
genetic anomaly of redheadism.
Hey man,
Yeah, you're trying to keep redheads alive.
the Blossom lineage has to live on.
Okay, wait, we've lost the plot. Who's in the woods and who's lying?
What day is it?
Who of the
love
Coopers?
redheads.
Okay, I'll put it this way. Who of the Coopers is the craziest?
Definitely Alice.
Alice, yes,
I'd have to
Alice.
say, like, just from what I've seen, just from watching, like, she is one kooky mama bear. Like, she just has these moments where, and Madchen, who plays her, is a great actress. Like, she just does the really intense look really well. I'm terrified of her, honestly. She scares the crap out of me, so.
What do you think, Roth? Who is the craziest?
I think it's Alice for now, but I'm worried that she has infected our Betty a little bit. Because she had those moments, if you'll remember, at the hot tub.
Yeah, with the
That
wig.
was with the wig and the thinking she was Polly and the trying to boil the man.
Yeah, you know, I think it's really
Maple.
sticky maple. I think the dynamic between the Blossoms and the Cooper family are really interesting because they hate each other, you know, and everybody has secrets. I think everybody has something they're not telling somebody else, you know.
And Trevor definitely is not telling
not
us
telling
whether
us
or not
stuff.
he's alive. But we love this, and we are so happy that you have been here to
you.
let us geek out this hard. Where can people find you, Trevor?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Trevor_Steins.
And of course, our darling Roth Cornet, here as always. I'm so grateful that we get to do this every week. And thank you guys so much for being with us. We want to know, who do y'all think is the craziest? Who was hiding in the woods? Why did they burn the car? And is Jughead okay besides the fact that he finally got some smoochy faces? Let us know in the comments below. You can tweet us at SJ News. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can click here for more Screen Junkies, and we'll see you again very soon.